So Scott, I'm sure you heard behind the curtain there, but we'll give you about 4 minutes. Tell us about the company. I know a little bit about it because we've obviously done this before, you and I, but tell everybody about Ascott Entertainment and a bit of your value proposition.
Yes, thank you. We are a Vancouver-based software development company. We started the original company in 2013, primarily building software for regulated gaming markets, or iGaming as it's called out there, but it's the online world of betting, daily fantasy, and casino. We built our first site and launched in 2013, which was a dedicated eSports peer-to-peer betting exchange. In 2014-15, we started to look at, the demographic of the people that were on sports books, and then the demographic and what was happening around entertainment and esports, and anything around betting and fantasy is really engagement and fan engagement, and you see the dollars generated by the daily fantasy market or fantasy around the NFL, and it's massive, and we saw that the entertainment was shifting towards video games. More and more, and then we had this competitive scene come of esports. And so we started to leverage our platform and look at doing things around that, and really wanting to be the software provider for already regulated licensed operators who were looking to add an esports element to what they were doing. So we've built sort of the full B2B platform of casino-style products, in-game betting products, all for esports. We now have we've done multiple private rounds of financing from 2013 to 2018. We have offices and infrastructure set up in Malta, Cyprus, Curacao, Isle of Man. Teams in the Ukraine. We have physical servers in a number of those locations, as well as some of our own gaming licenses. So now the way we generate revenue is we license that platform to other operators. We get an upfront integration fee, we get a monthly license fee, and then we share in the revenue. So we announced our platform, what we call the Chameleon Gaming Platform, in May. We've got 3 operators signed up to that, 1 live, 2 will be live next month. So really, we start kicking in the B2B revenue in October, and then we are looking towards a public event in the next few months.
Question for you. It sounds like it's kind of, you got operations all over the place, but you said that you have partners that you sign up with and share the revenue with them. So if you have the right partners in place, I would imagine that this makes operations and infrastructure easy. Are you finding it, how have you found it building that infrastructure with operations all over the place?
Like for ourselves, how is it building all that?
It sounds labor intensive for the foundation of the company.
Yeah, so it's infrastructure wise to do what we do. It has been quite a lot of work, which is kind of why we shifted to esports in 2014, and we're actually just turning on revenue now. Like getting that in place, because each place where you're going to have a gambling sort of want to operate, even as a B2B provider, you're going to need, in many cases, your own physical servers in that location. You're going to need on-island directors. If it is an island, you need anti-money laundering officers. So that's where we spent a lot of our time and effort, is building out that infrastructure, which is also what's going to make it tough for anybody who's trying to jump in and just capitalize on esports right now to do what we did, because it's taken us 4 years to get here, and there's currently nobody with that offering. So it's a lot of time and effort, but now it scales really well because we don't really need to spend any more CapEx, and we could host 200 sites from our platform now.
Awesome. Chris?
Is it, just to clarify, is it gambling as an esport, or are you gambling on esports?
It's on esports, so we cover the professional events and typically only LAN events. So we cover what they call local area network events, so it's not an online thing. So these people are physically in a stadium, and if you've seen it, it's massive. So you'll have 20,000 people in the stadium watching, and hundreds of thousands or millions online. There's a number of reasons why we focus on just the LAN events. So we're one of the founding groups in what's called the Esports Integrity Coalition, which is a group of teams, leagues, gaming operators like ourselves, and data providers. And so we all join forces to make sure that there's integrity in the matches, that there's even integrity around things around player contracts, so we wouldn't deal with a tournament where we know players aren't getting paid. There's even things being implemented around certain tournaments like the ESL, which include drug testing. So it's taken very seriously at our level, and we want to be out front. I think I'd heard you mention earlier about kids and that, and you don't want, I mean, if you like tennis, I watched Coco Gauff last week or whatever, play in the U.S. Open. I could bet on that. I can bet on the Olympics. So we're very cognizant of that kind of thing. Where we focus our efforts is, one, making sure that it's only adults that can get in any of the sites we operate. They have to be in a regulated jurisdiction. We get their age, identity, location information. If there's certain activity at a certain amount, we do an extended due diligence where we require documentation upload, proof of funds, source of funds. So I understand that in an early space like this, everyone thinks it's kids, but the games we cover and what's being bet on is the PC-based, I call it a bit more hardcore esports, where the average age of fan is 18 to 32, the average player is 21, 20. So I'm not saying you don't get a 15-year-old playing, but we don't cover an offline qualifier of that. So it happens as much in esports right now at the professional level as you'd see in betting on things like the Olympics or whatever. So.
Awesome. And do you have a booth on the floor, Scott?
We do, 316, okay. I believe.
All right, so if you want to hear more from Scott, he's in booth 316 out on the show floor. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, man.